Welcome. I hope you enjoyed the Broken Arrow playtest as much as I did. Today, the video I wanted to go over was something that I believe it was touched on briefly by others, but it hasn't received the attention it truly deserves, in my opinion. So I felt compelled to delve a little deeper into the aspect of this game that brings me a lot of joy and satisfaction. And to emphasize this, you'll see in the background I am just going through the hangar, looking at different vehicles, putting on different paint on each one, testing out the different loadouts, just to see how it affects the visuals of each vehicle. And that's kind of to bring this whole point home. So as I was going through the Armory, I was reflecting on my experiences during the playtest, and one of the aspects that really stood out for me was the awesome aesthetics this game has. I'm not one to really care about stats all that much and perfect balance and min-maxing and getting the competitive edge because to be honest, I don't play a lot of multiplayer games, or I don't play games in a multiplayer setting a lot. Very much enjoy I enjoy RTSs, but I really enjoy well scripted campaign missions. And the occasional comp stomp, I guess, is a lot of fun. But yeah, just so you can have a little background on me, I don't really care for the min-maxing of stats. There's enough people out there doing exactly that. The only thing I want to min-max is fun and enjoyment that I get out of games. And I really liked the immersive cinematic experience this game offers. One of the things specifically is it's quite on a large scale in general. If you look at games, I really like the scale, but you're not usually zoomed in on your units. You're actually, you have a large overview of the battlefield for most of the time. So I think a lot of this actually goes missing because most people, I think, won't see it. But there are some few that I think really appreciate the tiny details that this game brings to the fore. And then you also have this just enhances the immersion and the authenticity of the game, which authenticity in this regard, I don't mean talking about all the paper vehicles and the correct setup for each faction, whatever. Like I'm talking about the authenticity in terms of what they look like, what the unit is doing at the time, and even when it comes to especially the audio, that all just adds together and really, yeah, just sums it up or just brings it all together very well. What really tied it together for me was how both visuals and the audio kind of work together to give you a very just awesome experience. You can really feel the impact of explosions, and when you're zoomed in on a gunfight, you can hear its gunfire close by, and then as you zoom out, you can hear the dynamic shift in the audio. Starting to mimic the distant rumble of a gunfight. Still effectively conveying its weight and intensity. As a fan of Molson games, I've grown to appreciate the importance of realistic sound designs, especially when you have a dynamic soundscape where you can hear like snaps of the bullets and the things echoing off of cliffs or valleys or buildings or whatever the case might be. Games like Armory, with the correct mods, really excel in this regard, especially if you have explosions in the distance where the flash precedes the sound, creating a sense of authenticity. While Broken Arrow may not replicate this delay, its instantaneous feedback proves invaluable in the heat of battle. I mean, it's I understand the need for it, where in this game you need, because it's an RTS, you need feedback of what's going on. So that feedback is provided to you in many different ways. Obviously your UI plays a large part. So sound as well. So you can hear, oh, a plane's dropping bombs here, or artillery is coming from here, or whatever the case might be. So I understand the need for the instantaneous feedback. Like I said, that's the only thing for me that I wish they replicated a little bit more, is the delay in distant sounds, where you have a flash, and then, depending on how far you are, you'll only hear the bang then. But like I said, in this regard, it doesn't really make sense, because it will make it very difficult to decipher events, especially events happening off screen. But nonetheless, I still really, really appreciate how it's all been put together. So I'll just mention this again. As I said, I understand this is not everybody's cup of tea, but I really do hope the game ships with a proper mission editor. I think not only are people going to have a lot of fun creating their own missions and just having a lot of fun with the assets, but also think it'll make for some awesome cinematics. So if you look here, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I zoomed in on these planes as close as possible, and if you look closely, like, there's a lot of detail. You can read on most of the bombs. You can even read like the little labels and words that's on the bombs themselves, which I think is awesome. I really do think it adds a lot. Like I said, a lot of people will probably either never even see it or notice or even care about it. But I do think there's definitely a group of people like myself who really appreciates the effort the devs have put in. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say about the aesthetics of the game. I think I'll revisit it once the actual game has been launched, and I can just spend more time with it. I really can't wait for the launch of this game. I think it's going to be awesome. But in the meanwhile, like I said, I'm just going to go through some of the stuff that I'm looking at here now, and then once I've said my piece, just gonna let the video run, and you can see for yourself. Like I said, it's literally just me going through different options. So I mean, even if you look at this truck here, it's got options of the armor kit and then which gun it has, and depending on what you choose, it can either just have the gun, or it can have the armor, or it'll change if you have the armor and the gun. It will also have a different layout. This Bradley with the SHORAD, it's pretty cool. I made a short where you can see, if it's in the battlefield, if you deploy the radar, you can actually see the little radar deploying, and it's not just a change in UI where it's like, cool, the radar is now on. It's actually, the animations are brought to the model, which I think is, once again, I think it's really, really cool. So we'll see now. I'm doing this voiceover after I just recorded this video, because I knew obviously the playtest wasn't gonna last forever. So I just wanted to, just run around or go through the armory, choose different stuff, put on different vehicles, try out the different paint schemes, just to see how it actually affects the models themselves, how the vehicle looks. And like I said, I was just really impressed with, actually, the models were a lot higher detailed than I thought they would be, considering that, once again, most of what you see on here, you won't actually see in game, unless you're making a cinematic, which also makes me believe that I think that when the campaign comes out, I'm pretty sure they're going to use, just in-game assets for the videos, because it just looks so damn good. There's no need for rendering other videos. I also hope that those tools will be available to mod makers. That'll be cool. Like, even here, if you look at the helicopter, you've got the little lights on the sides flashing, and the text on the helicopter itself is quite high def. You can actually, once again, read everything that's on the sides of it, and the little bombs, just everything. It's just, I'm really, really impressed, and really, really looking forward to seeing what this game has to offer. Anyways, that's pretty much all I had to say. Enjoy the rest of just looking at the armory, I guess. And then, that's me. Okay, bye. Have a nice.